galvanize. Okay. I can't think of how to use it. But anyway, I just saw it.
And you know what, I am so sorry, because I didn't even say anything about the galvanize for the word of the day. And let me tell you guys, with galvanize, sorry, my little list got thrown off here. What's the last minute changes? So the word of the day is galvanize. So to startle and to sudden activity, stimulate. A senseless example is the Toastmasters Club was galvanized by the speaker's powerful message. Galvanize.
Let's see if I can work that in. So today I am doing as Latia said, I am doing my third speech. And my speech is actually on the impact of my communication style on others. Oh, and I just thought, since my evaluator is here, I did bring a sheet.
Okay.
You will? You're doing everything.
No.
Okay. Thank you. So I want to talk about the impact of my communication style on others. And a lot of the things that I have in my speech, I actually had a lot of examples of today at work. It was just, it was kind of amazing when I thought about people were coming up to me, and I thought my approach with them, I had to be caring, I had to be firm, I had to be a lot of different things today at work. So, so it really made me think about my impact on my communication, my impact of my communication skills on others. So I just want to start off by saying, one, I left I did have some slides, not a lot, but I left my drive at home today, and I was like, I'm going to run home and get it. But then, you know, that was, I opened at 5:30 this morning, so I thought, well, I can just run home at 8:30 or whatever. But that didn't happen. I never got like a break this morning, so I apologize for that. But I do want to say, when we communicate with others, we adjust our communication style to fit our audience. A lot of times, I'm guilty of when I communicate, I'm thinking about what the message I want to deliver, and I'm not thinking about my audience. And when we do that, sometimes I should say, am insensitive to my audience, and I'm not thinking about them. And so that's one thing I think that I'm trying to work on, is make sure that when I'm talking to someone, whoever it is, and I'll talk about different levels of communication, we have to be sensitive to our audience. We have to think about who we're talking to and how we deliver that message, and are we being sensitive to their feelings. So I asked you, have you ever been misunderstood?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Is that your fault, or is it the other person's fault? Well, I would say it could be either, but a lot of times it's not how you intend the message to be, it's how the person takes it. Especially in a work environment, I would say. When a lot of times we try to deliver a message, and I'll use myself as an example, I try to deliver a message, and it's misunderstood, and I have to take ownership of that and think, is there a different way I could have delivered that message? So a lot of times if we're misunderstood, it may not be that I intended to deliver the message that way, but that's how the person took it. So I should challenge myself to maybe take a turn and deliver the message in a different way, or think about who I'm talking to. I talk to my associates different. I don't coach everybody the same way. Some people are sensitive. Some people are funny. Some people can take funny. Some people can't. So I always have to think about that when I'm delivering. After you deliver a communication message, after you communicate a message, have you ever received a blank stare?
Mm-hmm.
Because maybe the person doesn't understand what your message was, or they don't have a clue of what you're talking about. Well, I have to take ownership of that also. You know, if I see that blank stare, then it's up to me to make sure that I deliver a message that person can understand. So today I'm going to discuss how I tailor my communications to my audience. What are the common styles that I use, and the styles that I limit to certain audiences. So I'm going to talk a little bit about family and friends, which would include children, my grandchildren, kids. I also talk about coworkers, talk about direct reports and leaders. So I'm going to start with family, because I probably communicate with my family more, although we're at work a lot, and I do communicate with my coworkers or my team a lot. But I think about, first of all, like my wife, I have to be direct. I have to be caring. I need to be engaging. I need to be sincere. I need to be firm, humble. And with my wife, I like to be funny, but with my wife, I need to lose the funny. She doesn't think I'm funny. So sometimes what I think is funny, she doesn't really think it is. And she may take it that my funny is at her expense when that's not what I intended. But it's who I have to take in consideration who the audience is. And I tend to have to be reminded of that often. So I'm working on that. I'm working on delivering that, getting rid of the funny. But sometimes I think she likes funny, but I find out maybe sometimes she doesn't. And I have to be serious. So I think about the children in my family. With the children in my family, I have to be nurturing. I have to be authoritative, teaching, caring, inviting. I can be funny with the kids, and sincere and serious. And one of the common things in there is sincere, like with my wife and the kids. I want to be sincere, and sometimes I have to be serious, on both ends. When we think about my friends, I want to be direct. I want to be direct with everybody, but sometimes, maybe at work, a direct approach might not always be the best approach. But I want to be direct, funny. I want to be analytical. This again is with my friends, because sometimes you have friends who like to be analytical. They like to debate or kind of sports. We talk about sports and we want to be analytical about it. I want to be secure in my communication. Sometimes with my friends I might be distant because you're not going to be as close as you are with your family. And some friends you're going to be closer to than others. I also want to be sincere again. There's a common one that keeps coming up, be sincere. And with my friends I can be funny. So, sometimes when you meet new people or you make a new friend, I want to make a good impression. So a lot of times they say, you get one chance to make a good impression, or you get, that first chance. Once that impression's gone, then that's it. So sometimes you meet new people, and I've been able to meet new people, and I felt like I made a good impression. And from there, you hope that will create like a lasting friendship. If I blow it, then I'm not going to have that lasting friendship. Sometimes you just don't get a second chance. You think that you want to communicate with your friends, you want to respect them. So I say the friendship is long term. Family and family is long term, of course. But you want friendship to be long term. And I think about a quote from a movie. And the reason I bring this quote up is because it kind of helps me to describe how I feel about friends. The movie was Tombstone. And in the movie Tombstone, one of the characters asked Doc Holliday, why are you doing all this for Wyatt Earp? Why do you do all this for him? He's like, he's my friend. And the guy says, I got a lot of friends. And he says, I don't. So that means that you want to take in consideration your friends and you want to keep them up. So work associates, I talk about direct reports. Once again, I want to be direct. I want to be knowledgeable, honest, caring, engaging, motivating. So when I have a sick associate come to me, which I have one come to me today and tell me about her illness, I need to make sure that that I'm caring with her. I had another associate came to me who didn't get a job because of after an interview. I had to be caring with her, but I also had to encourage her because she said, I'm done with the line statement. Well, no, I've been rejected. You're going to be rejected again. You don't know who got the job. You don't know why you got rejected. So let's wait and we'll talk about it. I had to talk to another associate who said, hey, my supervisor doesn't help me. Well, I need to not throw my coworker under the bus, but at the same time, I want to help that associate. Yesterday we had guests that came and we couldn't wear jeans. I had to send associates home because they came to work in jeans. And we have visitors coming who are a potential client. I had to deliver that message in a way that was respectful, but was firm because you cannot be here in jeans. And I had a few different reactions with that. Had to talk to an associate about a write-up, about a situation, the way he handled it on the phone. So there are a lot of ways in my communication style that I always have to think about my audience, and I always have to make sure that I'm delivering a good message. So the last thing I guess I just want to say with my style, once again, so one of the common things is I'm direct, I'm sincere, I'm caring, and I'm still going to be humorous. I'm still going to throw that in there. I believe that the impact of my communication style depends on my audience. And I would just tell you, always think about your audience when you're dealing with